through right now has a few cousins in the past. But it goes back a little bit to what I was talking about earlier on the show, which is the 2 minutes of hate. And I got to refer again to George Orwell, because as I was saying, what we're watching now, what we're witnessing right now, is the equivalent of 2 minutes of hate. You turn on CNN, what do they do all day long? Not so much Fox. I mean, be really clear. Fox does not sell hatred. They sell a point of view that makes the liberals say it's hatred, but it really isn't hatred. Well, the left, though, sells hatred, pure and simple. So, like, I'm going to do it again. 2 minutes of hate. Here it comes up. I'm bringing it up again. 2 minutes of hate. And there it is. The 2 minutes of hate from George Orwell's novel 1984 is a daily period in which party members of the Society of Oceania must watch a film depicting the party's enemies and express their hatred for them for exactly 2 minutes. If that's not Jeff Zucker's modus operandi on CNN, I'd like to know what is. In other words, he puts out hatred, and he makes the listeners of CNN hate Trump, hate conservatives, for 2 straight minutes in every segment. That's his formula. He's copying the 2 minutes of hate formula of George Orwell. And then he uses people with very low IQs who don't even know what they're doing. Oddly enough, Goldstein was the head of the opposition party, which I find very odd. The 2 minutes of hatred. How did George Orwell pick the head of the opposition party who they were going to hate? How did they pick a guy named Goldstein? Why was it a Jewish person? That's an interesting thing. 1984 daily period in which party members of the Society of Oceania must watch a film depicting the party's enemies, notably Emmanuel Goldstein and his followers, and express their hatred for them for exactly 2 minutes. Wow. So if you read one paragraph from that book, it comes up. Actually, Orwell himself said the following. The writer said, the horrible thing about the 2 minutes hate was not that one was obliged to act a part, but that it was impossible to avoid joining in. Within 30 seconds, any pretense was always unnecessary. A hideous ecstasy of fear and vindictiveness, a desire to kill, to torture, to smash faces in with a sledgehammer, seemed to flow through the whole group of people like an electric current, turning one even against one's will into a grimacing, screaming lunatic. And yet the rage that one felt was an abstract, undirected emotion which could be switched from one object to another like the flame of a blow lamp. Are you telling me that when I said to you today, in my inimitable way, I find literature like this, that we're not seeing exactly the 2 minutes of hate that George Orwell wrote about in 1984? Are you telling me that when you see the faces of the pink-hatted women, or of the Antifa haters, or of the Occupy haters, or of any of the other left-wing groups funded by George Soros, who you're not allowed to mention anymore, George Soros and the others who fund these groups, you're telling me that that's not an exact description of what they are doing to them? And that's why people are getting hurt, frankly, on both sides of the aisle, if you want to be clear about it. You can look at it the other way as well. 2 minutes of hate, which was a daily period in which party members of the Society of Oceania were forced to watch a film depicting the party's enemies, notably Emmanuel Goldstein and his followers, and express their hatred for them for exactly 2 minutes. It was required. You had to sit and watch the film showing the party's enemies, notably Emmanuel Goldstein and his followers, and you had to express your hatred for them for exactly 2 minutes. If this is not what we're living through today, I was searching for anyone who opposes illegal.
DePaula Ford, big game savings are here, and the people have to know. This week, there's over 600 Fords to choose from.
Who think that they're on the verge of a massive realignment kind of victory. I'm seeing all kinds of panic. Well, maybe it's not panic, but I'm seeing all kinds of anger. I mean, from the people who think that they're going to win. The people who think that they're going to win big. You turn on TV, they're mad. I think they're mad about the economic numbers, and they're trying to say that Trump is blowing it by not campaigning on the economy.
From sunny South Florida,
What are they talking about?
It's Open Line Friday.
Greetings, my friends lines, and of course, whatever you want to talk about is hunky-dory, fine and dandy, have at it. Telephone number is 800-282-2882. And the email address, lrushmo@eivnet.us. What do you mean Trump isn't campaigning? I just saw some dingbat on CNN say that Republicans are mad that Trump is not campaigning on the economy, and that if they lose the House, the Republicans are going to blame...
One of my children lose the ability to use their legs or legs and arms, then have them convinced that society was against them, that the cops were against them, that they had a target on their back, that if they ever went on a job interview and didn't get the gig, it was because of their ethnicity, the color of their skin, their sexual